Hey, what's up? Welcome to DGen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Lucid Motors, ticker symbol LCID. And so here I am looking at the daily chart on Saturday, August 24th, after Lucid closed the week on Friday the 23rd at a price of $4.20, being up just a little bit over 9% on the day. And as you can see, it has been moving a lot recently. And so if I do take a measurement from the lows that were hit on August 5th, we can see that price has gone up a little over 50% from that low. And so it has definitely run a lot. And for me, personally, I typically wouldn't be looking at a chart like this just because it's gone up so much. But I actually think that Lucid does have some more room to run. And so I wanted to talk about that, some levels that it might be going to, and also why I think that, it might be running. It wasn't because I was looking at the charts. It's because I got an alert from unusual whales. So I'll go over that in a little bit. I did just want to go over the chart first. And so, well, I did mention that it's gone up 50% since this low, but just over the past 3 days, it's gone up basically 30%. So, definitely moving a lot, but I do think that it has moved into a new phase of, not bleeding down, but breaking out. And so you might be able to tell that looking at the chart here because there is this downtrending level that we have broken out from. And not only that, we confirmed the breakout by getting a close above that downtrend and then getting a following close above that prior high. And so, it's just looking really good. Although we are coming up to what might be a double top, but I do think we will be going past it. That is at a price of $4.32, which was hit on July 12th when Lucid went up 25% on the day. So a pretty massive move there. Maybe we'll be seeing another move like that soon. But before I get into the nitty gritty of the chart here, I did want to take a step back to look at those downtrends and where they originate from. And really, I first wanted to start with this one on the bottom. It's not really relevant for what we're looking at now. I did just want to highlight where the pivot points are because it does look like it has served as support. And so that is based on the lows that were hit on December 27th of 2022, did act as support there. And then the other pivot point is based on the low, I believe, from November 10th of 2023. Did get a fake out break below that and actually pulled up to test it, got rejected, but then finally, got a over 27% move on January 29th of this year, breaking above that and then kind of testing it, bouncing along the way down. So I think that's pretty cool. And then it did move up to test the top down trend. And that one has a little bit more history. I think this one's pretty neat. And actually, I need to adjust this level just a tiny bit. It got moved. And so that is based on the low from May 12th of 2022. And then the other pivot point, let's see where that is. That is this high here that was hit on July 11th of 2023. And so that is the downtrend. Does look like it served as, brief support here before bouncing and breaking. And, did get some bounces here. Formed a gap coming down on February 23rd, leaving a gap behind at $9.98 or right around $10. I don't necessarily think Lucid's going there right away, but I did notice that gap, so I wanted to point that out. And then, we... some pretty cool stuff happened. We moved up to that top downtrend, got rejected. I haven't drawn it up here, but I'm curious looking at the chart here, going from this low at 229 up to that high of 433. I am just going to add some levels into this so we can see, where it did pull back to. And let's see. I think that I'm going to want either the 618, the 65%, that's the golden pocket right there, or the 786. And so it looks like we pulled back almost to the 786 at 272, but didn't quite get there. Hit a low of 280 before bouncing back up and, hanging out in that golden pocket a little bit, and then now breaking out to the upside. So, just looking really good there. And so one thing that I could see happening is maybe a double top here, a rejection and a pullback down to this downtrend, testing that as support before going higher. But I actually think that this is going to continue going up. Again, partly because of an unusual whales alert, but also because, if we look at the RSI here relative to this peak, we were at an RSI of nearly 85 at 84.94, and currently the RSI is at 70.43, so just barely in the overbought territory. And so I do think that it will continue to move higher, especially with, a 9% move on Friday. Let's see, a 7.5% move on Thursday, just about a 10.5% move on Wednesday. So just lots of momentum there. It does also look pretty cool that it did open right at that downtrend, continue higher, getting a confirmation close outside of that level, and could always pull back, like I said. But another thing that stands out, just like the RSI, looking at the volume here, it may not stand out too much, but the volume has been increasing as price has been going up. It did cool off a little bit relative to the change between Wednesday and Thursday. Friday, it looks like the difference in volume was about 7 million shares traded, but the difference between the 21st Wednesday and Thursday was about 22, 23 million. So quite a lot there, and it is still increasing as the RSI is continuing to increase. So I do think it could be going higher. So where do I think it could be going? You might have noticed I have this Fibonacci retracement here in light blue, going from the high of 432 down to this low that was hit on August 5th when everything seemed like it was collapsing, gap down over the weekend, but then a rebound. And so that low was 280. And it does look like we might be testing that 432 in the very near future, I suspect, on Monday. But, I do think it could go past that level, and that would be coming to the 1618. That is at a price of right around $5.26. And so, I could see a price going up there maybe over the course of the next week, going up by about $1. So a pretty nice move there. And if I do take a step back, there's another thing that does line up with this level that I found to be pretty cool. And so over here, we got these two candles that go up to let's see, right around 526. And we can see that the high on December 14th of 2023 was $5.31. So a little bit higher than that level. But if I go to the high of December 15th, that is at 526. And so if I want overlap between these 2 days, between the trading on the 2 days, I would have to go to 526 to get that level. And so that lines up perfectly with this 1618. So I feel like that's definitely a level that price is going to. I do think it might be getting rejected, just like it did get rejected over here, but maybe it would pull back to 432 and find that as support rather than pulling back to this downtrend, which could be bringing price down to around $3.36, somewhere around there. So, I think the chart is just looking excellent on Lucid. Well, I do think there eventually will be a pullback. I don't think that momentum's dying down just yet. And I do think that 526 could be on the table. And before I close the video, I did want to go over that unusual whale alert that I did get on Friday. The alert was that volume exceeded open interest. And we did see a lot of green volume, a lot of ask orders being filled. And over the course of the day on Friday, about $135,000 traded on premium. I'd like to see that number a little bit bigger, maybe 200, 300, 400,000. That would give me a little bit more confidence, but this is a lot of money, and virtually all, about 90% of the contracts traded on Friday were on the ask side, so the buy side, and that is for calls with a $5 strike expiring October 18th. And so I feel like, this is a sign that this could be going a lot higher, as there is, over $100,000 premium riding on Lucid. And I should note too that the average fill for these contracts was 31 cents, and it looks like it closed right around there with the average fill towards the end of the day at 33 cents. So, these options, these calls, could be a nice way to make a little bit of money on Lucid, although, they could always expire worthless. And, I think it's best to be in and out with options, whereas with shares, I do think that this could be riding up, like I said, to 526 before pulling back. In that time, great time, in my view, to swing a call and, maybe a good idea to pick up some shares before 526 or be planning to trim around that level. Maybe it goes higher, but maybe it doesn't. So I think at that point, it's good to take a little bit off the table, lower that risk so we can be buying back when we do pull back, which I do think will happen, but it might only be coming down to 432, maybe $4, or like I said, around 336, maybe 325, not really sure, but just come into that downtrend. Actually, before I close the video, I should point out this high here, 335. I had said 336 before. It looks like there are two wick highs corresponding with that level. So I wonder if price could be coming down there. I'm not going to do a Fibonacci retracement here because I think it's going higher. I don't think that'd necessarily be that useful. But, I just think that the chart looks really good. Even though it's taken off by 50% since the beginning of August, I think it still has more room to run. But I just wanted to add one more trend line to this chart before I close the video because I noticed this as editing. And, I think it's really, really cool. Just a very technical bounce that I noticed. Just out of curiosity, I drew a trend line from the high here hit on February 16th of this year coming down to the high of May 14th. And, I just think this looks so cool. The coolest thing in technical analysis is when you get a perfect bounce, a retrace to that level after this breakout, and then a breakout from there. So, that is another argument why I do think that since we have broken out from this level, we might be retracing to it. But anyways, just wanted to share that because I think this bounce is super cool. But, those are just my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments down below, and make sure you subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot for watching. Take care, you guys.